Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Mwah.
Mwah.
So this is part 2 of your little mini-series, two-part series
Right.
about what we're seeing. You're seeing this on social media, really, people complaining about things. We're just trying to help, give some advice. Not that we know it all, but we're obviously going through the same lockdown, right?
Exactly, and the same struggles. And I wouldn't say that people are complaining. People are struggling with these issues. I mean, these are real issues. And yesterday we talked about loneliness and feeling isolated. There's a lot of single people that are in lockdown by themselves. And so we had some really great strategies on how to work through that. Boredom, same thing. And then stress and anxiety, and we offered up some strategies on how to deal with that. So if those topics are things that you're struggling with, check out last night's video, because I really think that there was some good advice in there.
Yeah, tonight you wanted to talk about people who are saying they're overeating.
Right.
Because, they got nothing better to do, so let's just eat.
Right.
Maybe eating foods that they don't normally eat, that's number 2. And then the third thing was, I think you said, the lack of activities.
Right. And I really want to talk about this overeating. And I don't think, Jeffrey, it's because they have nothing better to do. And this is...
I'm kind of joking, but...
No, I know. But this isn't an issue that you've ever dealt with. And I think it's a really sensitive issue for a lot of people who stress eat.
Yeah.
And, you are now home and you're feeling anxiety and stress over a variety of different things. And so you're grabbing, that bag of chips, intending to have 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden, a blink of an eye later, that bag is just crumbs.
Oh, you don't think I've done that?
I know you've done it. It's not usually when you're stressed, though, I would say. I think Jeffrey is more of, maybe I had an extra cocktail, so I'm also going to have an extra bag of chips type person, which is another thing. I mean, they're saying that people are drinking more right now.
Well, I guess I could see that, yeah.
Right, because they're in a lot more, too, so they might be doing that kind of eating as well. But specifically, it's this stress eating that seems to be a problem. And I'm involved in a lot of social media groups, as you know, on Facebook especially, a lot of plant-based recipe, groups and whole food plant-based groups, and etc. And normally, the admins want you to stick to the topic. If it's a recipe group, only post recipes. But because people are home more, the topics have gotten a little bit more interesting. And, there have been a lot of questions about, are you finding yourself eating more, or are you finding yourself eating less? So,
and to get around the stress eating, maybe it's just you don't watch the news 24/7. You start to focus on the positives, focus on, gratitude, meditations, things like that, right? So that's what you're saying, to kind of take down the stress.
Exactly. Eliminate the stress, and also try to pinpoint when it is that you start going for food. If it's every time you pull up your laptop, you all of a sudden say, oh, I'm going to get a snack to have while I'm on my laptop. If you find that pattern, it's really great, because then you can break it. So pattern interrupt is really, really important. And obviously the goal is don't have things in the house that you don't want to eat. And we all understand that that's not 100% possible right now with other family members home. Things are in the house that might have been for them, and it's just called your name at the wrong time, right? But that stress eating is a real thing, but I do find the pattern interrupt is a great way to deal with it. The other trick that I really recommend is, close your kitchen at 7 p.m. I don't care what your mind is telling you. If you want to go and snack, absolutely the answer is no to yourself, because it's after 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's a great rule. And I think I don't always abide by it, but whenever I do, I feel a lot better. So I think that's a great one to share.
Yeah, and brush your teeth at 6:59. That really helps if you brush and floss, because a lot of times you've done all that and it's like, oh no, I'm not going to bother now. But close your kitchen at 7 p.m. The other thing is that really helps with sleep, which is also going to reduce your stress and your cortisol levels. So, there's a great positive domino effect for that.
Right. Okay, so the second one is you're eating, so that's overeating, eating the wrong foods.
Eating the wrong foods or eating foods that don't make you feel good.
Well, and part of it is too, we are trying to make things last, like because we don't want to, we're trying to do our part. We don't want to go to the grocery store again for quite a while.
Right.
So you end up trying to finish everything off. So I think, like tonight we made that pizza, which was delicious. I mean, it was vegan pizza. It was pretty healthy. But, certain things like that, like maybe I didn't eat that pizza, but we had it in the freezer. And I'm trying to get through everything. I'm trying to use everything up before we have to go make another order at the grocery store again, right? So that might force people to eat some things that they normally don't, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And force them to eat more than they normally would of it, right?
Yeah.
So, because somebody ate an entire pizza tonight.
Well, it was a personal.
It was a personal. I'm just joking.
Like
I'm fine with you. Well, no, but it wasn't. It was only about that big. And yeah. So, I think that also a lot of us have foods in our house that we don't always want to eat, or we can make things or bake things, etc. And because we're home more, I think there's a little bit more of that happening too. And my answer to that is that if you've already done it, don't beat yourself up over it.
Late.
Yeah, exactly. And when you
unless you did eat it by accident.
Jerry's famous. Yeah. He loves to quote Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but so you've always been really good about this too, and I think I've gotten a lot better. We just don't bring the stuff into the house.
Right.
Like we don't have a lot of that. We don't have any real junk food in the house. So it's like even if you go on a binge eating here in our household, like you gotta go eat a bunch of broccoli or.
It's kind of true.
Right.
And I get it that kids are home and maybe they're wanting some other junk food, but I think this is an amazing time that you have control over what you're feeding your family all day long for many days in a row. This is a beautiful opportunity to not provide junk food to your family, and to really build up everyone's immune system and give everyone healthy choices. So, instead of bringing in the junk food that you would normally bring in for them and that they might take to school in their lunch, just don't bring it in. And a lot of people will say, well, I didn't have control because my kids go to school or they go to friends. You have that control over what you bring in your house and what you're serving to your family.
Absolutely. As I'm listening to you, because
I've
seen plenty of articles and things. Wow, that's loud.
That is really loud. Oh, Carrie, I so want to talk to you, my sweet Carrie friend, but I'm gonna have to call you back after this.
Okay, so all right, so let's move on to the third piece because we're gonna wrap this thing up.
So the third piece, and I think these three are like they all fit together. The third one is inactivity. So a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, I am so used to being so active and I haven't done anything. And I get that because our routine was, we went to our hot box and did our workout down there, and it's by order of law right now that's closed. So I would say, well, we had COVID-19, so we didn't really do any workout for about 2 weeks. But now we're back into the routine, and I think that's the key, the routine. Set up a time, give yourself an hour every day, even if you only work out, for 20 minutes of that hour. Give yourself the full hour to, get yourself geared up for it. If you're the kind of person who likes to put on certain workout clothes, do all the same things you normally do. There are a bazillion free workouts.
Well, even if it's not the same things, you mean the same things as far as getting dressed. Because
Yes.
technically you can't go to the gym.
Right.
You can't, maybe you can't go out and do your biking or running
Right.
long distance or whatever it is.
You don't,
right?
if you're at, equipment, no one has those things. I mean, we have small hand weights here, but that's it. We have no other machines that we could use, which we wouldn't anyway. I'm embarrassed to say. But, our exercise is normally skiing. Well, guess what? We can't go out and ski for 3 or 4 hours every day because the mountains are closed. For you, it might be, going to your gym
yeah.
or taking your Pilates class or, doing your yoga class. We understand that none of us can go to those places. However, YouTube is offering free courses on all those. So if it's yoga or Pilates or stretching or whatever, right?
Right. Oh, there's tons of stuff.
Everything. And
Yeah, and it's like all the creators that are out there. You guys know that if you're on YouTube, you're watching us obviously here on YouTube.
Mhm.
There's just tons of opportunities. If you go, because of AI, you go and plug in like yoga stretching. You'll wake up tomorrow, there'll be 10 different options for yoga stretching. I was looking at something the other day for just breathing exercises because I was all kind of freaked out about this tight cough, and I've got all kinds of breathing exercises coming in. So you can learn new things. You and I did an exercise yesterday that we've never done. It's a whole different program that was kind of really great about the whole flow of the body. I'm gonna really dive deep and learn more about that. It's kind of fun to learn something new too. I mean,
exactly. If you've always wanted to do yoga, guess what? You have 24 hours every single day. So just take 1 hour out of each day and put it aside for some activity. I think that's really, really important. And if you're home with your family or you've got roommates, whatever it is, if you can make it a group activity, even better. But if not, set it up for your own routine, same time every day, so that there's also some semblance of order, which I think is
Right.
really important while we're all home 24/7.
So in summary, for the overeating, really try to keep your stress down, turn off the news. I mean, that's the biggest stress factor when we're all locked in here. Don't bring the foods into your house that you shouldn't be eating.
Right.
So then you don't fall off the wagon.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of activities you can really do in your own house. Just get creative and use things like YouTube and other platforms to go out and pull this information out. There's so much free information out there nowadays, right?
Yeah, and I want to add in there meditation, because there's some great meditations on, if you're having an issue overeating, or if you're having an issue eating things that don't make you feel well, or if you're just feeling, like you don't want to exercise. There's a meditation for all of those things, and they work. Jeffrey and I have done all of these meditations. A lot of them are touted as hypnosis meditations, and they're super cool. You can listen to them as you're drifting off to sleep, and they really set you up in the morning for a great start to your day.
I love those.
Yeah.
Great.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the Nest at Copper Mountain.
Thanks for listening. Stay safe and stay inside when you can.